opportunities for fraudulent activities within the financial system, and the necessity to combat such illicit practices and safeguard the integrity of financial transactions within Nigeria. The House is aware that undocumented POS transactions from both parties' identities create a loophole for fraudulent activities such as identity theft, money laundering, and unauthorized transactions. Also, by enforcing the documentation of users' identity, the incidence of fraud will significantly reduce and the security of financial transactions in Nigeria will be enhanced. The House is also aware that proper documentation of POS users' identity fosters accountability among operators and users. This transparency will help trace transactions back to the individuals involved, holding them accountable for illegal activities conducted through the POS system and ensure a lasting end to criminal use of POS. Worried that there is an obvious regulatory bias and enforcement challenge towards due process by the relevant regulatory bodies and the urgency for immediate intervention to avert this ugly situation and shield Nigerians from the hands of criminalities through the use of the POS system. Also aware that establishing a system for verifiable documentation of POS users and recipients' identity aligns with the national and international financial regulatory requirements with the objective of preventing financial crimes and ensuring compliance with anti-money laundering and Know Your Customer KYC regulations. Cognizant that implementing stringent identity verification measures will protect consumers and businesses from becoming vulnerable to fraudulent schemes carried out through POS transactions. Additionally, the process will build trust in the financial system and encourage greater participation in the growing cashless transaction system in Nigeria. The House is here invited to resolve to mandate the Committees on Digital and Electronic Banking, the Committee on Finance, Banking Regulations and Financial Crimes, to invite the Governor of the Central Bank and the Group Managing Directors of all the commercial banks and other financial institutions utilizing POS services to appear before the committee to address this challenge and report back within 4 legislative weeks. Mr. Speaker, colleagues, I so submit.
Any seconder? Honorable Bello Rufai.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Mohammed Bello Rufai. I represent the good people of Kaduna North Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I stand to certainly support and second this motion. Thank you very much, sir.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to committees on digital and electronic banking, finance, banking regulations, and financial crimes for further legislative action. The 11th order of the day is a motion on the need to investigate the management of the Environmental Remediation Fund established and managed by the Nigerian Upstream Regulatory Commission, standing in the name of Honorable Opologun Ete. Honorable Ete is hereby invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable Ete had an emergency and has left the floor, so the motion will be stepped down.
This motion is stepped down by the leave of the House. The 12th order of the day is a motion on the need to award contract for the construction of Gaydam Damasak Road, standing in the name of Honorable Lawal Shatima Ali. Honorable Ali is hereby invited to move the motion.
Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, sir, my honorable colleagues, I remain Lawan Shatima Ali, representing the good people of Bursari, Gaydam, Inusari Period Constituency, and from Yobe State. I rise to move a motion for the need to award contract for the construction of Gaydam Damasak Road as follows. The House notes that the engineering design for the road was provided in the 2014. There's a topographical error of 2014, sir. Appropriation bill, but no contract was awarded for the execution of the project by the Federal Ministry of Works. Also notes that the road is 75 kilometers long, covering Gaidam, Mar, Balaryaro, Bultua, Alalukuri, Umarari, Ajiri, Kundila, Masuariri, Degaltra, Malabduri, Amblomei, Guya, Matari, Bulabulin, Malarizagua, Kadri, Alagarno, and Yusuri across to Damasak in Borno State. Concerned that socio-economic activities are in complete disarray as a result of the absence of a motorable highway which could facilitate the flow of goods and services. Further, the lives and property of the people in those areas are exposed to insurgency. Also concerned that the state of the road prevented the people living in such communities from getting drugs and puts donation from donor agencies and international organizations during the most severe phase of the Boko Haram insurgency. Resolves to first urge the Federal Ministry of Works to, as a matter of urgency, work out all necessary documentation to award the project in earnest, and to mandate the Committee on Works to carry out detailed and holistic investigation to determine the reason for the non-award of contract for over a decade. Mr. Speaker, sir, if in the event there is still delay on the part of the Federal Ministry of Works, the House should urge the Northeast Development Commission to intervene as these roads needed a very urgent attention from the government, sir. I so submit.
Honorable Larry.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, respected colleagues. My name is Sheikh Abdul Mumin. I represent the blessing people of Nusra out of their constituency. Mr. Speaker, I want to use the opportunity on behalf of 359 members as the Chairman House Committee on Traditional Institutions and say congratulations to your newly titled gotten us from the Gondu Emirate, who happens to be one of the most influential emirates in Nigeria. Congratulations. I rise to second the motion, every move by a colleague, and I so second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Works for further legislative action. The 13th order of the day is a motion on intervention on the perpetual attacks on Upper/Agatu communities, standing in the name of Honorable J. Maujotu. Honorable Ojotu is hereby invited to move the motion.
Okay.
The people-oriented speaker that is loved by all and hated. The latest title holder, the one by respected honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Pastor Comrade Chief Ojema Ojotu.
All for you.
Yes, sir,
Pastor.
Mr. Speaker. I represent the very good people of Apagatu Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. It is on a side note that I rise this afternoon to move motion that border on the attacks on the people of Apagatu Federal Constituency. That there has been an unabated attacks on the innocent Apagatu Federal
about doing nothing but their legitimate businesses and fishing themselves and their families. Note further that while Nigerians in other were celebrating national holiday of 1st October 2024, upholding its significance and collective memory, it was stay of amalgam for the good people of Apagato Federal Constituency as invader unleashed mayhem on the community and killing remnants of people from the IDP camp who were initially displaced from their communal homes but peeped back to make use of the almost gone rainy season to sow some crops ahead of dry season. Concerned that despite the repeated calls for government intervention to put an end to the consistent unprovoked attacks, the killings are still continue unabated, and the survivors of the attacks are being displayed, loitering everywhere with nowhere to lay their heads. Note again that the attack of 1st October 2024 also claimed the lives of 2 security personnel earlier deployed to keep watch till peace return in the federal constituency. Note lastly, but sadly, that there has been another attack on the federal constituency, particularly on Iguma, Olagbani, Okutanobe, and Ogule Ankpa, and other communities in Agatu local government area. And many lives and property worth millions of naira were destroyed. And it worries us that invaders have disappeared into thin air without a trace, and nothing has been done to trace and arrest the invaders. House accordingly resolved to observe a minute silence in honor of those who lost their lives and in the recent attack. Urge all security agencies to quickly move into the federal constituency, particularly the community that has been made desolate, to mount surveillance and keep watch to prevent further attacks on the federal constituency. Urge military to immediately set up a large military base in the areas of attack to ensure peace is restored and further attacks are prevented. Urge the NEMA to, as a matter of urgency, move in vocal person to federal constituency to provide relief materials to the survivor of the attacks to cushion the effect of the unfortunate incident. Urge the Army, Police, Air Force, and other relevant security agencies to carry out clearance operations in the affected areas. Further urge the relevant government agency to quickly set up a befitting IDP camps in the federal constituency to serve as a temporary home to the so-called many people displaced in the recent attacks. Distinguished Speaker, respected honorable colleagues, I so move.
Any seconder to this very important motion? AVM.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, the Agba-Akin officer, on behalf of Gando, and by special grace of God, the Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger. I remain Air Vice Marshal Joao, retired, and I represent the good people of Ekiti South Federal Constituency 1. I'm from Ekiti State, the fountain of knowledge. I rise this afternoon to support the motion moved by my friend, Pastor Ojoka. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committees on Emergency and Disaster Preparedness for further legislative action. The 14th order of the day is consideration of report of the Committees on Finance and National Planning and Economic Development on the 2025-2027 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper. Honorable members will recall that the report was laid on Wednesday, 27th November 2024. Honorable James Abiodun Falake will move for its consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is James Abiodun Faleke. I represent Ikeja Federal Constituency from Lagos State. I rise to move that the House do consider the report of committees of Finance and National Planning Economic Development on the 2025-2027 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework and Fiscal Strategy Paper and approve the recommendations therein. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I so move. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Isiaka, can you second?
Once again, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished honorable colleagues, Right Honorable Dr. Ibrahim Ayakunle Isiaka. I speak for the entire Nigerians for the Federal Constituency, and I'm from Ogun State, Mr. Speaker. I rise under your permission to second the consideration of reports that the House do consider the report of Committees on Finance and National Planning and Economic Development on the 2025-2027 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework, MTEF, and Fiscal Strategy Paper, and approve the recommendation as hereby moved by the Chairman House Committee on Finance. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, sir.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Leader of the House, can you please move that the House do resolve to the Committee of Supply?
Mr. Speaker, Professor Julius Ihanvere, Owan Federal Constituency. I rise to move that the House do resolve to Committee of Supply to consider the report before us. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I rise to second the motion that the House do move into Committee of Supply to consider the report.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. House hereby resolved to the Committee of Supply.
Honorable colleagues, the question is that clause 1 to recommendation 1 to 15 be made part of this report. Clause 1.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My dear colleagues, because of the importance of this MTEP and its sensitivity, I would ask that we consider it thoroughly before we pass this. This is one of the most important bills that the Parliament will ever pass. If you look at clause 1, it has to do with the oil benchmark. And we are recommending that $75, 76.2 and 75.3
be the benchmark per barrel of crude for 2025, 2026, and 2027. And for 2024, we are aware that what we recommended was 77.96. That's the current budget. And then the selling price today is about $85 per barrel. About $85 per barrel. That is in the first quarter. That was the first quarter of 2024. We achieved 85 and increased further. So recommending 75 for 2025, which is next year, as against 77 that we recommended for this year, and we exceeded 77. I will urge and advise that we maintain minimum the benchmark that we took for this year, because the disparity might be too large. Rather than increase, we are reducing. I'm not unaware of the issues of moving to gas-propelled vehicles and all that, leaving the normal fossil fuel. I'm aware that the world is moving that way, and reliance on crude might be a bit reduced, but 75 appears to be too low. That's where I'm going to. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Please, the Chairman, Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman. I listened attentively to the issue raised by Minority Leader. The crude oil prices is not controlled by any state or any country. The fact that we did 77.9 this year, this current year, and we were lucky to have crisis within, unfortunately, within some producing countries, which shot up the price of crude. We envisage that in the next year, the crisis might subside and that the price will crash. And I think that we should allow this price to stay, because if you shoot out too much, it means that you are bloating your expectations. As of today, the price has crashed to 74 point something, not 80 something that it was during the first few quarters of the year. So I think that 75 is reasonable, very, very reasonable.
Honorable Isiaka.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And I want to appreciate our minority leader and the submission of my leader here. I just want to give a rider to what he has just said. In this country, there was a time crude oil was sold as high as about $120, $110. Sorry, yeah, 110, 120. And I think that didn't last for long. And there was a time it went as low as 20. So if we now look at the average and then looking at this fluctuation, where it is put is more appropriate, and then if there is any shock, either upsurge or it's going to fall below, definitely the economy itself will be able to adjust instead of now going far higher. Definitely, this is a working document, Mr. Chairman and my leader. It's a working document, it's a work in progress. Even if we pass it today, if there's any need tomorrow for any adjustment, I know amendments will come, and definitely this same House will sit to review and pass it as necessary. I want to give a right out to what he has said, that we should maintain what we have so that we don't unnecessarily put ourselves in a tight corner and be struggling on what is not available. I so submit, Mr. Chairman, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think the concern of the minority leader was well noted, but the answer, the response from the finance and Isiaka also has addressed such concern raised by our minority leader. Minority leader, do you still have anything to say, because you have a right of reply?
No, I appreciate their position, and
Like I said, that I am not unaware of this.
Honorable
but
colleagues, I like the way we are paying attention.
it's,
We're about, excuse me, I like the way we are paying attention. What we are doing today is very important. The life of this economy is dependent on what we are doing today. Whatever you're going to see in your appropriation act, this is going to be the roadmap towards it. So please, let's not just say, let's pay attention and understand the whole debate and make contributions where needed. Please round up, Minority Leader.
yes, sir. The explanations made are not out of place at all. I actually considered them, and I pray that these explanations too will be carried in the Senate. Of course, we know the implication, but in course of planning, we must have all these factors at the back of our mind. This is not the kernel of this whole argument. Perhaps when we go further, we'll look at it more critically, but we'll allow the vote to go on.
Put the question. Recommendation 1. Based on the suggestion of Minority Leader, let's look critically. Recommendation 2. Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, my dear colleagues. On recommendation 2, which is also a projection of the crude oil production, we are recommending that we make a projection of 2.06 barrel, 2.10, and 2.35 for 2025, 2026, and 2027. And for the current budget, I think we had a recommendation of about 1.8, about 1.8. And yes, if you look at the papers, particularly social media, they will tell you that we are producing over 2,000 barrels. But in actual fact, we are not. Though there is an improvement, but as at yesterday, the production rate was 1.05 barrel. Yesterday, 26. We can look at the facts. These are things that will actually help us in proper planning so that we don't keep coming back to the National Assembly to ask for funding and borrowing, which will also expose us further to criticism by Nigerians. So I think at this stage we must be critical in setting out these benchmarks. And then besides that of yesterday, if you look at the ratio of increase, about 3.38 from that of last month, better. We also project that it might do better, but our target in Nigeria has always been to achieve 2,000 barrels per day. That has been our 2 million per day. That has been our target over time. OPEC quota for us is 1.8. So putting this very ambitious target of 2.06 and 2.35, we are not likely to achieve it. And if we don't achieve it, we know that we are tightening our belt because we're already projecting that we are going to sell 2.06. And if we sell lower than that, we get lesser fund. So we need to be a little bit careful. I will pray that we reconsider this and reduce the targeted rate and up to 2 million per day, which has been the target of this country for quite some time. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Chike.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to also agree with the submissions already made. The same issue of barrel per day, which is a projection, I believe is also the same thing with the price benchmark. If we agree that the document, including the appropriation bill itself, work in progress, I believe that the same way the submissions that were made by the chairman of Finance and Planning, that we adopt what we have. If there are very significant changes as we move ahead, we will also sit down and effect the necessary corrections. This same document that we're looking at here, the Senate is also looking at it. So I will submit that we go ahead, and once we have any situations arising from the differentials, as rightly pointed out by the chairman, by the minority leader, the needful will be done. I so submit, sir.
Yes, Chairman, Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. James Faleke is my name. Mr. Chairman, if we read all our recommendations, they are called projections. And when you have projections, it's not certainty. And to get to this projection level, the operators of the NUPRC gave us the details. As of today, they are above 1.8, they are closer to 2 million. There was a time in this country during the former President Jonathan's regime, we were on 2,500,000. And mind you, this 2.06 includes the concentrate. It's all inclusive. It's not just the crude oil alone. And so for me, all the recommendations are projections, which of course will guide us. And if you put a lower projection, you are indirectly telling the operators not to work hard. And I think it's better to push that. Since we have more capacity, we have capacity to do more. We produce 2.5. I mean, so it is a way of getting our people to work more and getting the revenue for this country. Thank you.
It's very straightforward. They are mere projections. Projections are flexible. Can either go right or go left. And I think the House is in agreement with that. Sir, I just put the question. Recommendation 2? Recommendation 3? Minority Leader, you're on fire today.
No, sir. Recommendations 3. In fact, recommendations 3 and 4.
No, 4 has not been called.
Okay, 3, sir, because it's the same argument. I will adopt it for 4. So if 3 flies. Recommendation 3 is that the National Assembly, through its committees on finance, national planning, and other relevant committees, should carry out an in-depth investigation. That is mandating the committees to carry out an investigation. I don't think it is necessary in the MTEF because that is the statutory functions of these committees. So putting it in the MTEF is just it's just overkill, not just even, it's a surplusage. So I will ask that we drop these recommendations. The statutory committees have the powers to carry out these functions. They should go ahead and carry out these functions. That's my submission, sir.
Do they have the jurisdiction to handle reconciliation of remittances? Do they have the jurisdiction to handle reconciliation of remittances to the Federation account? Yes, Chairman Finance. No, let me hear Jaha first before Chairman Finance.
Whenever this document is presented to members of the public for consumption, both domestically and internationally, stakeholders in Nigeria's economy will go through the content of the document. Inserting this is going to increase their confidence in the Nigerian economic system because they are aware of outstanding remittances, particularly from NNPC, LNG, Nigerian Immigration Services, and other revenue generation agencies. If the government is not going to do, or the parliament is not going to do the needful to recover these funds, it's going to reduce their confidence in the economy because they will be thinking that it's a business as usual. 2024 has gone, nothing happened, and the same thing will happen in 2025. What the committee is trying to put here is they want to do the needful and give investors confidence on their ability to reconcile all these remittances. I think it's better we leave it there.
Are we losing anything? Doctor, you want to say something? Put on your mic, please.
Sorry, I'm saying that NMPC as a private entity, do we have power to investigate them still?
Doctor, doctor is asking the question as a doctor. Do you really need an answer, doctor? Eh? Okay, finance, answer him. I gotta assure you, yes. Yes, we have the mandate to do that. Section 88 and 89 of the Constitution. Doctor, you are being distracted. I'm answering you, doctor. You are being distracted. You asked me a question, I'm answering you. That the mandate given to the Parliament by Section 88 and 89 is sacrosanct. We say we can summon any person, anybody, for the purposes of investigation. So we have the right to do that. Having said that, I think the argument of Jaha is just saying, granted that the mandate of these committees are well known to them, but there are third parties looking at this document that we are passing today. The effect of including this particular function is to raise the confidence of the investors, to say, transparency, accountability mechanism is in place as they tend towards achieving this. And the question to the Parliament is, are we really losing anything by putting it here? The answer is no. So I put the question. Clause recommendation 3? Recommendation 4? Recommendation 5? 5, yes. Yeah, he's doing his job. He's the minority leader. He's expected to do his job. And I'm happy you're doing your job.
Mr. Chairman, sir, my dear colleagues, the recommendation 5 is on the gross domestic product. That's the GDP. The growth rate we have projected is 4.6, 4.4, and 5.5 for 2025, 2026, and 27. Now, the question I'll ask again, because I believe in being realistic, where are we today? What? Today, it's not even up to 3. It's just, okay, let me say 3. It's about 2.9.
No, it's about 3.4. No.
Your Excellency,
where are you getting your statistics from?
Your Excellency, from
Bureau of Statistics, National Bureau of Statistics?
Yes, sir. Bureau of Statistics.
Please
yes,
refer me to the document.
Not what is reported.
Please, clerk at table, give us the data as of today.
Yes, sir, if we can get the data for today, so that will inform us. And whatever projections we are making
Google it, find out what is
should be
happening.
very reasonable projections that are attainable. So let's have that for today.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, please, leader, please.
Yeah. As the minority that was speaking, I quickly Googled it. As that today on Google, 3.25. And I believe we're doing better than that. We just need to look at the increased victories by our security forces, the huge investments coming up on road infrastructure, and it means that growth will definitely improve better than the last year.
Thank you. Chairman Customs, please.
In order.
Thank you, leader. At least minority leader is saying that it's not 2 points. We're actually doing 3 points. So the government of this country is trying.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I believe the projections are very reasonable because just yesterday, Port Harcourt refinery started working. And Dangote refinery equally on stream. So the projection by this time next year might even be more than this, with the coming up of all these refineries working. And not only that, I was in China about 2 months ago, and the Chinese were in the embassy, and they were asking me that people in Nigeria now, they come only to buy machineries. that it appears Nigeria wants to start producing. So many industries are coming up. The GDP definitely might be more than this. That is the information.
Thank you, Custom. And we're also expecting that revenue from custom will be more.
Definitely, they will double what they have made this year.
And that is an improvement from what it used to be.
Definitely.
You know? And also FIRS, that's an improvement from what it used to be.
Everything is automated.
That is the truth. So which means that this government is adding value and making sure that there's an improvement. And let me publicly also commend NNPC for working hard for the reactivation of the Port Harcourt refinery. I really commend them. And that is going to add value to the discussion that we are having, to the economy. And just like Mr. President commended them from the parliament, we are also commending the NNPC for a job well done. And we hope that other refineries in the country will also pick up from there. And if they're able to activate Port Harcourt, they can do same in other refineries. And that is actually the benefit of government of renewed hope agenda. So I ask the question again. You withdrew your...
Yes, sir. I actually would not want to lead the House wrongly. I've seen the current rate is 3.62, which is the current rate as of today, so I will want to withdraw my observation.
Thank you. What, say that again. What did you call it? You said, what did you find out? Say it again. I didn't hear you.
I will say it multiple times because that is the truth.
So let me, I want to hear it again.
It's 3.62, sir.
3.62.
Thank you, sir.
So the government is not, we are waking up and the projections are right. Still on this topic, sir. Okay, as before I...
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Afolabi Afakwe. I only want to discuss that this growth, we are thinking of 4.6 in 2025. Why a reduction to 4.4 in 2026? I will expect it to be growing rather from 4.6 to come to 4.4. Yes, because if
he's asking question, he said, why are we 4.6 then drop to 4.4
yes,
and then...
improvement in the economy. Why the reduction?
It's a projection.
Yeah, it's a projection, but I think the projection to be positive rather than positive and go
He's
back to
asking, is there any reason that occasioned the drop in the projection?
Are we expecting anything bad that we are saying it should reduce to 4.4?
Okay, put off your mic. Yes, let me hear Billy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, I think maybe it can be one of the explanations, or maybe the major explanations. 2026, that is actually a year to the elections. And we know that a lot of foreign direct investments will slow down because of the uncertainty. These have been demonstrated by data, that when you have elections coming up in a country like Nigeria, there will be a lot of uncertainty in place, and that will slow down a lot of things. And I'm sure that's why we have that kind of projection. So you see that after the elections, that year of election, you see the projection goes up again. I mean, it happens in every major country, even in the US. So that is the explanation for that. Thank you.
I think that's a good one. Let me just put the question. Recommendation 5?
Yeah.
Recommendation 6?
Yes.
Yes, please, Jonathan.
Recommendation 6 speaks about the exchange rate, and it's proposing 1,400. My colleagues, the Chairman, Finance and National Planning, have equally said so eloquently that if there is any major shift, it is not a document that is cast in stone. We can still come back and look at it critically. Now, over the past year, we have seen the volatility with regards to our currency. And the problem is a situation where we have a country that everything or a good amount of whatever we do is actually pegged to the cost of the dollar. If we do not get an appropriate or a very suitable proposed rate, what that will mean is that we would have to increase our borrowing to make up for any deficit. I just looked at the CBN rates for today, and the CBN is giving us a rate of 1,678 to 1,679 to a dollar. And I look at what do we have on ground that will enable us project that the dollar will fall to 1,004. As God is my witness, I would be the happiest person if the dollar falls that low. But we must be very realistic. Are we looking at the Dangote refinery? What component? How much in terms of value? And don't forget that we're in a phase of energy transition where we're moving away from fossil fuels and we're going to critical elements. We're going to scenarios where we're doing more batteries and less of fuel. And fuel, fossil fuel, still remains our main source of income. So I've actually preferred that we look at a rate considering the rate at which it has been progressing or declining. Let us equally look at a more realistic rate. Probably put it, maybe even if it is 1,005 a barrel, it will be more realistic in the long run. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's hear from Currency. Chairman, CBN.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Mohammed Bello El-Rufai is my name. I represent the good people of Kaduna North. I want to appreciate this session and the debates going on, particularly commend the minority leader and you saying he's doing what he's meant to do. It's been very educative. I like to highlight that. So, believe it or not, I understand Honorable Gaza's need for cautiousness. That doesn't mean that is my position. I think the Chairman Finance, whose experience can give us the granular explanation as to why 1.4 was targeted. The reason why I thought to speak, Your Excellency, is because if we get this part very wrong, well, even though the document is not cast in stone, we will come back for multiple amendments. The CBN, the Monetary Policy Committee, hiked interest rate yesterday. I think it's currently at 27.5%. The governor met the House committee recently, Your Excellency, and he assured us that they've taken their decisions based on accurate data. We are a country that does not like data. That's why I like it when leader Googled the fact. We have the National Bureau of Statistics. They have told us our economy has grown by 3.2% or more. But Nigerians were so used to bad news, we don't like to admit when there is good news, like the Port Harcourt refinery. So we need to discuss this aspect delicately, because since 2018, we have seen the volatility in the foreign exchange market. And even though I still have full faith in the central bank and their ability to rely on data and make difficult choices in tackling inflation and money supply, I think on this part, Mr. Speaker, you have to allow for more positions, sir. This could get us in a very difficult place. So I thought to highlight the need. And finally, sir, the problem is it's always better to underpromise and overdeliver. It is always better. There is a risk in this aspect, and we go back to borrowing, and they'll see us as the house that is accepting borrowing. I know this is a controversial aspect. They might need further explanation, but I just thought to highlight this. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Honorable Agocha. Turn off your microphone.
Sorry, sir.
Mr. Chairman, my distinguished colleagues, I'm very happy for this debate. I also wish to align myself with the minority leader, some of the concerns that he has raised. Mr. Chairman, I also align with Honorable Gaza and my brother, Malam Nasiru El-Rufai. When we look at the projections for the exchange rate, the government of renewed hope is actually telling us now that no matter what we do For the stabilization of the Naira will never get down below 1,400. Today in the parallel market, Naira is close to 1,800 to the dollar. A strict projection, Mr. Speaker, is that by December, Naira will be 2,000 Naira to the dollar. And we're benchmarking 1,400. What it means is that the renewed suffering, hunger, instability continues. So we need to be circumspect, Mr. Chairman, on some of these projections. If we were saying that
what
by
are you
2000
proposing?
Well, just like Gaza said, we need to be realistic. At least we should peg it between 1,500 to 1,600 to be realistic to the current exchange rate that is prevalent in the country. So that is what I'm proposing, Mr.
Thank
Speaker.
you. Let me hear from my brother from Rivers State, Sherry Hart.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Honorable colleagues, I remain Hart Cyril Godwin. I represent Degema Boni Federal Constituency. I'm from Rivers State. Chairman, honorable colleagues, this is a dilemma for us with the following reasons. 2024, the budget was pegged at 800 naira. Today, we are closing at Saka 1,700 naira. The implication of that differential of 800 in the budget, and we are closing at 1,700, is what they call exchange rate gains. I want to remind us that exchange rate gains is not something any government should celebrate. It is drawing the blood of citizens. When you say your budget is pegged at 800 naira, and at the parallel market, or even at NAFEX, you have 1.6. That differential of 800 naira is what is now shared at FAC as exchange rate gains, which is almost at par with VAT. A government that celebrates exchange rate gains is a failure. So when you see this projection of 1,400 as against where we are now 1.7, this government has already gained 300 naira, which they are going to share at FAC. How do we solve this problem? If you say, let's push it upwards, you're also alluding to the fact that the dollar can no longer come below that. Honorable colleagues, my opinion to this is that let us be realistic. Exchange gain can no longer be celebrated in this country. Let us peg this projection at 1,600 naira. Let them make do with 100 naira as their gain and share during FAC. And before I end, sir, if you allow me, this willing buyer, willing seller of economy cannot help us. Let us look at how to consider manage floating. This willy economy is not helping. I want to believe that let us revert to manage floating. If they are saying 1,004, with the understanding that we are going to do manage floating, then I'll go with 1,004. But if you still float this dollar and say 1,004, it is not good for this economy. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Let me hear some. You've not spoken. The honorable member from Akwa Ibom. I'm coming to you. Yes, go ahead, but make it brief so that we can give more people time.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
No, Sada, I'll come to you later.
My name is Clement Jimbo. I represent the people of Abaket-Mebika Federal Constituency. Mr. Chairman, my colleagues, with regards to the item under consideration, which is about the exchange rate, I want to recall our minds to what happened last year and what is happening now. As at last year, our country was still import dependent on almost all our petroleum products, needs as a country. But as we speak, we have Dangote refinery that is capable of meeting all our consumption energy needs in that sector. And if you also recall, the import of our petroleum products was one of the major line items that exacted a lot of pressure on our naira. And as we speak, that load has been offloaded from our naira. So with this projection by the joint committees on finance and national planning, in my own estimation, it is rightly in order for us to maintain that tempo. As you submit, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable Sada.
Mr. Speaker, let me speak as a layman.
We are all laymen.
Mr. Speaker, the basis of why we devalued our naira is because we have less revenue, so that we'll have content of dollar to share across the country in order to execute development projects. Our revenue is short. We need to devalue the naira so that we get more value of the currency and share to pay salaries, to do other things across the country. That is just the layman understanding. Well, in reference to this projection, 2025, 2026, 2027, we said our oil receipts and production will improve. So we will look at the monetary policy and see, okay, since our oil revenue has improved, we'll have more dollar content, therefore we'll have more naira. So a naira will be strengthened, will get more value. It will be stepped down, but it's still not too ambitious. It's within the margin of
realities.
Yes, realities with respect to monetary policy. Everybody will attest to the fact that the monetary policy of this country over the years, over 1.5 years, there's a lot of discipline in it. And I think they are doing very well. They are doing very cautious. And then if you reflect to what the committees are recommending for the parliament to look at, our oil revenue will increase marginally. We have stabilized the benchmark. Last year was $80. This year, because the oil production has reached about 1.5 million barrels, everybody can attest to the fact that the revenue receipts has improved. You see what the states are getting, 1.4 trillion, 1.5 trillion, 1.3 trillion, which was not the same early 2024. It was 1.2, 1.1. So there is a marginal increase in what comes into the kitties of government. And I think this projection is reasonable if our colleagues will look at it and will look at how the economy is trying to come out from the mud. And I think if we can allow it to go, it will help us so that we can move forward. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I think I just put the question because it's Jaha, just speak last and then I put the question. Commissioner
we are
Chairman of
taking
Finance.
Sir, we are taking a very sensitive decision.
Make it brief, Jaha.
Yes, I want to make it brief.
Yes.
We are taking a very sensitive decisions, and we have taken a resolve on some clauses at the very beginning of this consideration. We agreed and convinced that 2.something million barrels will be produced on a daily basis. It's a projection. And we equally agree that the benchmark is $75 to a barrel. We equally projected that it's going to be 4.6 growth in our GDP. Bearing in mind doing all this, the assumption is the value of our currency is going to improve, thereby reducing the level or the value of our
exchange
rate. So my assumption is maybe the committee is even under ambitious to me, Honorable Jaha. I can even go for 1.3. Yes, because we have approved in the past 2.something million barrel per day, $75 to a barrel per day. per barrel. And we equally projected 4.6 against 3.6 GDP growth. So you cannot approve with right hand and disapprove with the left hand. So fellow members should understand our stand on the 1.4 is because of our previous stand of the previous approval.
All right, thank you. I don't think you need to say anything here. Chairman Finance, that'll be the last, please.
Thank you. Thank you, honorable colleagues. Minority Leader, thank you for the issues you raised and, of course, the major contributions that have been made. I think that finance is not in isolation of activities. And Honorable Jaha has just said the main issue. We are expecting growth. And when we grow, we have more money in the kitty. We are expecting increase in our volume of oil production. When we have increase in the volume of oil production, your foreign reserve will increase. When your foreign reserve increase from what it is, you are stronger. Your currency, your naira will be stronger. Do you understand? Against any other currency. I think this is just the basic issue. It's not about, it's not a guesswork. What we should do, of course, is from my brother from Minority Leader from the South, they should please appeal to them to ensure that there is stability in the oil production. If we have stability in the oil production, we have more crude oil. When we have more crude oil, we are able to export. When we export, we have more money. If you take my brother from Imo or so, saying we should increase to 1,005 to 1,006. Yet, you said the poor Nigerians are crying of hunger. If you increase to 1,006, you are also increasing cost. Do you understand? We are saying there's no way, if you have growth, estimated growth of 4.6, you cannot remain on the same exchange rate. Simple and straightforward. And when you talk about borrowing, sir, borrowing is already detailed. Sir, borrowing is already detailed in the bill before us.
Thank you. I think this is the parliament. Robust debate is the beauty of the parliament. That is the truth. We are not fixated on any opinion. We are not opinionated. We work with facts. And I can assure you what we have expressed here is nothing but knowledgeable debate. And I appreciate it. You have differentiated yourself. By the time you walk out the door, you can defend whatever we're doing here, whatever that will come up in the budget. The press might ask you tomorrow or next tomorrow when we pass the budget, how did you come about that? What we are cooking here, you will remember the ingredients that we considered in making the soup a beautiful one. I really want to thank you for being in this room. So I'll just put the question. No more right of reply. This is, let's put the question, please. Recommendation 6. Recommendation 7. Recommendation 7. No, Minority is raising his hand. Let's hear him. Wait. Let's hear him.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, my dear colleagues. I think what we are doing...
But make it brief, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think that what we are doing, it's also helpful to us. So please be patient with us. Our projected inflation rate is 15.75 for 2025, which is barely a month away, 14.21 for 2026, and 10.04 for 2027. Again, the same worry of my dear colleague will come to play. Now, if we look at the inflation rate as it stands today, let me borrow a leaf from you so I don't make any error again. I know that in June, it was 34.9 in June this year. And June last year, that is a year ago, it was 22.79. There was an increase of close to 10%. But from the information we have, as at October, it's 34%. By November, this month, it's 33.5. That is a reduction
of 5%. And the projection is that by December, 16th of December...
What is your proposal?
Yes, I'm coming to that. By 16th of December, that will have 36%. So I don't see how, in a matter of 1 or 2 months, that the inflation rate will come down to 15%, over 100% reduction. No, I'm just saying that the projection for 2025 is about 2 months away. That's where I'm going to. So I'm saying that the projection is over ambitious. Let us take it.
Let me guide. Minority Leader. Minority Leader, 2025 is not January 2025. That it will happen in 2025 is a projection. That is what, but so when you say it's only 2 months, I don't think that is very logical. We're saying the projection is saying within the year of 2025, that this is a projection. So to mark it as January being 2025 is not actually very... So let me ask the question. Recommendation 6?
I've not concluded, sir. I've not concluded.
Okay, conclude, please.
Thank you, sir.
Please reconcile this. In the report is 16.94, and in the other...
Thank you,
Only
sir.
one person
Now,
is giving the floor, not you
yes,
and
sir.
Gaza.
Thank you, sir. I sincerely, and with every sense
Jaha,
of
where are you going?
responsibility...
Where are you going? The same way you call other people back when you achieve whip, it's the same way I'm calling you back. Sit down. Jaha used to call people, sit down. We are doing MTF, sit down. So Jaha today, sit down. Good.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. So conclusively, I would want to say that I speak as a statesman, and I also speak with every sense of responsibility. I will pray that these projections are achieved in my country, Nigeria. That's my vision. I even pray that we achieve better than this. But we need to be realistic. That's where I'm going to. Now, I think that we should be looking at what has been happening, the downward trend. It's not more than 5% a month. And that's what I will pray that we base our projections on, 5% reduction monthly. That will be more reasonable and achievable. I will also refer to the reports. If you look at page 18 of the report, clause 6.2, where the committee, in its finding, said that the inflation rate is projected to decline from an average of 27.85 in 2024 to 16.94 in 2025. Now, having found this, you're also giving us a recommendation of 15.75 in the 2025. So what I'm saying is that this projection is even in conflict with the finding of the committee. So please, let us adopt perhaps the minimum, the finding of the committee, not the recommendation. Thank you, sir.
Yes, please. Honorable Sada.
Mr. Chairman, I think there is a mistake somewhere. And because we are fallible, we can make mistakes. But this is not realistic. Anybody who knows the common definition of inflation is inflation occurs when goods and services, the prices of goods and services increase or rise too much. We know we have this in this country. But I think this mistake must have come from the executive. There is no way, with the current trajectory of our economy, that we can achieve 15% inflation rate in 2025 and then achieve 14.21 in 2026 and coming down to 10% in 20. Look, Mr. Chairman, this is not realistic.
What's your proposal?
No, I'm not saying I should give a proposal, but we must look at this and probably this mistake must have come from the executive because they are somehow, yes, we should have done a better job to scrutinize the data.
No, this is a recommendation from the House. This is a committee, so it's not about the executive
Mr.
now.
Chairman, because I don't have the data. We are considering a report. I don't have the data.
The report is coming from the committee, so it is not from the executive. Okay, let's hear the chairman of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable colleagues. Inflation, what are the issues that drive inflation? When you have too much money chasing fewer goods, okay, that shuts up prices of goods. We are saying that by next year, where food or goods will be more available. In fact, Chairman Custom has said there are more Nigerians importing equipment than before, which means Nigeria is going to, we want to see a production year by next year. And when you see a production year, which means you have money and the goods are also available at the same time. That would drop the inflation. And the minority people leaders should be commending the government for aiming high to bring down the inflation rate, rather than say we should increase the inflation rate. This is my own comment, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. So happy about the nationalism and the patriotism of our leaders, the minority leader, and my distinguished honorable colleagues. I just want to akin this to a child I have in school. Probably he's been coming home with third, fourth position. And then you now put him on his toes so that he can be more efficient and very effective. This is a challenge. Honorable Sadasoli, with due respect, I want us to take this as a challenge to the executive. Let them go and drive this process and give us this result that we are talking about. And I want to appeal that the function of this honorable House as the House of the people, the House defending Nigerians, is that at the end of the day, by the special grace of God, this should be our happiest moment at the end of the year 2025, when this is achieved. And it is our job, it's our function, the oversight and then the pressure of the government to make sure that this projection, that they have said they will achieve, in actual fact, instead of 15.
The current inflation rate is what?
Mr. Speaker, as at today, is 33.3. It's 33.3 to be very honest.
33.3
to be very honest.
So you are splitting it into 50%. So the impact that we want to make, is it going to give us 50% results? Strong enough to drop it 50%?
You have, as you have postulated, Mr. Chairman, that we have a long another 365 days after end of this year to really, I'm talking about is throughout the year for 2025, for us to look at the key performance and indicators at achieving these very results. Mr. Chairman, sir.
Thank you. Oja. Then leader.
Thank you, sir. You see, when you talk about calculation of inflation rate, is from point A to B. Inflation rate in 2024 is from January to December. You are going to calculate for 2025 the difference, the marginal change within that year. So it's not because we have 26 today. Next year we'll have to calculate how to divide that into 2. If the price of rice is 1,000 naira today from 500 naira, that means it was 100% for that year. Now, if it moves to 700, that means you have gained. You are not going to say it must get to 500. The difference is going to be from that 1,000. How do we move from 1,000 to another level in the next year? If it gets to 800, that means you have actually gained. So it's not going to. We are not going to wait till the price of rice gets to 500 before we get to 15%. So we can make that marginal change. The important thing is that our indices, the parameters we are setting, how viable and visible are they? Production is increasing in the oil sector. By the time the Dangote refinery and the other refinery also takes off, like they are trying to take, they are taking off now. Part of the product will also be, the byproduct will be petrochemicals. These are part of the things that you also import heavily. So these are the things that will drive down inflation. So inflation for 2025 is another ball game. What is the marginal change in the price in 2025? So you can have 10% from 50%. It's not dependent on the past year. It's the difference in that year that you calculate,
All right, thank you.
The other one, sir.
Thank you. Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I remain Ali Sajesi. Just like the observation raised by the leader, I expect the Chairman Finance to clarify. In his report, the recommendation is different from the one in the other paper. So which one is he recommending we should work with? His committee that has been mandated by this House to go and do their work, they did their work and submitted a report, while this one in the other paper is different. So I believe this is our committee set up by this House, and we believe there are a lot of experts in that committee. The report they brought, I move that we adopt their own report by their own committee, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Chairman,
you have a right of reply on that. Then
Mr.
after
Chairman,
that,
sir,
Lalo.
the report, Mr. Chairman, is talking about findings, all the issues as brought to us. And after serious deliberations, we discovered that we could be better than that. And that is why we are making this recommendation. So, findings and recommendations are two different things, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
No, finding a recommendation is like granted, but I'm not conceding. So this is what I'm opining. Okay? This is what we have found, but we know with all the things that we are putting together, it could be this. So that is what they will recommend. Like now, you can find somebody guilty of an offense, and you have the choice to recommend 7 years imprisonment or a fine of 500. You can now say, oh, pardon, granted I have found you guilty, not conceding that you should have the full penalty. Because of how you cooperated with the security agencies, I will give you a reduced sentence. That becomes a recommendation. So let's not tie their recommendation to their findings. I'll just take one more on this, and then we'll round up. Lalo. No, wait. All this right of we have to move on.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Ishaya David Lalu, represent Mangubo Coast Federal Constituency. I come from Plateau State, the home of peace and tourism. Straight to the point. When we talk about inflation, just as the chairman says, too much money pursuing few goods. But this inflation work pari passu with the gross domestic product. And one of the determinants of these indices for the GDP is the PCI. That determines our standard of living, generally. So where I'm worried in the projection, when you look at the GDP, in 2026, decline. So it is expected that when GDP rate is increasing, then certainly the inflation rate will decrease. But in 2026, the GDP in this submission decreases. So the expectation in 2026 is that the inflation will increase, but it's not increasing here. Then what are we projecting? Thank you.
I think we've had enough on this. I'll just put the question. Recommendation 7. Recommendation 8. Recommendation 9. Recommendation 10. Recommendation 11. Recommendation 12. Recommendation 13. We've passed 12, 13, recommendation 13, recommendation 14, recommendation 15. Leader, please move that the House resolve to plenary
Mr.
to
Chairman,
consider report from Committee
I
of Supply.
rise to move that the House will resolve to plenary to consider the report from the Committee on Finance and Planning on the MTF. I so move.
Please, Minority Leader.
Mr. Chairman, my dear colleagues, I second the motion that we do revert back to plenary. I so second.
Those in support of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The House hereby reverts to plenary to consider report from the Committee of Supply. Honorable colleagues, the House and Committee of Supplies considered the report of the Committees on Finance and National Planning and Economic Development on the 2025 to 2027 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework, MTEF, and Fiscal Strategy Paper, FSP, and approved recommendation 1 to 15 of the report. Leader, please move that the House do adopt the report of the Committee of Supply as a working instrument of the Parliament.
Mr. Speaker, following your report, I rise to move that the House do adopt the report from the Committee of Supply as ably presented to as working instruments of Parliament. I so move.
Thank you. Minority Leader, please.
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I rise to second the motion. I so second.
Those in support of this motion that we do adopt the report of the Committee of Supply as a working instrument of the Parliament, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The report of the Committee of Supply is hereby adopted as a working instrument of the Parliament. Honorable colleagues, the 15th order of the day is consideration of 4 bills. Standing in the name of Honorable Julius Ihonvere. Honorable Ihonvere will move for their consideration. Please move them together.
Mr.
Honorable
Speaker,
colleagues, they are just establishment bills, just 3 minutes, 4 minutes, we are done with it, please.
Mr. Speaker, Julius Ihonvere, Owan Federal Constituency, Edo State, I rise to move that the following bills be considered by Committee of the Whole: HB 669, HB 1157, HB 1386, and HB 822. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Leader, please.
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I rise to second that we do consider the following bills: HB 669, HB 1157, HB 1386, and HB 822, and also HB 1277. I so second.
Okay, those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Most distinguished colleagues, the 16th order of the day is consideration of report of the Committee on Specialty Healthcare on the bill for NAHAD to amend the orthopedic hospital. We have done that. I think it's part of the HBs that you considered. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Yes. All right, Leader, I think we should go to the Committee of the Whole too. 19, one more? What is it? Okay, yes. Please, 16 order of the day is consideration of a report on the Committee on Specialty Healthcare on a bill for an act to amend the Orthopedic Hospital Management Board, CAP 010, laws of Federation of Nigeria to provide for establishment of orthopedic hospital, Plenary, Gombe State, to be affiliated to Federal Teaching Hospital, Gombe, and for related matters. Honorable members will recall that the report was laid on Wednesday, 20th November. Honorable Alex Obuna is expected to move for his consideration.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Dr. Alex Igbona. I represent Abiyako Federal Constituency. I'm from Cross River State. I like to move that the House to consider the report on the Committee on Specialty Healthcare on a bill for an act to amend the Orthopedic Hospital Management Board Act CAP 010, laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 204 to provide for establishment of orthopedic hospital building Gombe State to be affiliated to Federal Teaching Hospital Gombe, and for related matters, HB 1277. Approve the recommendation therein. I so move.
Thank you. Any seconder? Yes, leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my very respected honorable colleague. I rise to second a motion moved by the chairman that the House do consider the report of the Committee on Specialty Healthcare on a bill for an act to amend the Orthopedic Hospital Management Board Act CAP 010, laws of the Federations of Nigeria 2004 to provide for the establishment of Orthopedic Hospital Plenary, Gombe State, to be affiliated to the Federal Teaching Hospital, Gombe. HB 1277. I so second, Mr.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Leader, please move that the House go into Committee of the Whole to consider these bills.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that the House do resolve to Committee of the Whole to consider the bills before us. I so move.
Minority Leader, please.
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I rise to second the motion. I so second.
Those in support of the motion that we resolve into Committee of the Whole to quickly consider this establishment bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The House hereby resolve into Committee of the Whole to consider these number of bills. Honorable colleagues, the first bill to be considered is for an act to establish Federal University of Agriculture in Kano, Enugu State, to make comprehensive provision for its due management and administration and for related matters. Leader, please move the synopsis of this bill in less than a minute, please. It's establishment bill.
Mr. Chairman, this is an establishment bill, essentially to establish a Federal University of Agriculture. We create jobs, promote research, new technology, and provide food for Nigerians. I move my colleagues to support this bill.
Thank you. Leader, I want you, subsequently, the remaining bills, I want you to move according to the paper. Just say, I move according to the paper, so that we can speed it up, if you don't mind. Honorable colleagues, we have 31 clauses, shadows. Yes, you don't need second on that. Explanatory memorandum and the long title of the bill. Clause 1 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 31, 32, shadows, explanatory memorandum, the long title. Most distinguished colleagues, the second bill to be considered is the act to establish Federal College of Medical Laboratory Science and Technology, Akwa Ibom, and for related matters. I invite the leader again to give us the synopsis.
Mr. Chairman, this is a straightforward bill. Establish a Federal Medical College, and according to the paper before me, it looks comprehensive enough. I urge my colleagues to approve.
Thank you very much. Honorable colleagues, it is 1 to 36 in terms of clauses, and we have schedules, explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill. Clause 1 to 20, clause 1 to 20, 20 to 36, schedules, explanatory memorandum, the long title of the bill. The third bill to be considered is for an act to amend the Federal Medical Center Act to establish Federal Medical Center or your state. I invite the leader again to give the synopsis.
Mr. Chairman, again, this is an amendment to the Principal Act to establish Federal Medical Center, Igboho, in Oyo State. I urge my colleagues to approve this. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable colleagues, not only 3 clauses here, the schedule, explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill. Clause 1 to 3, the schedules, explanatory memorandum, the long title of the bill. Most distinguished colleagues, the 4th bill to be considered is an act to provide establishment of Federal Institute of Fisheries in Delta State. I invite the leader to give the synopsis of this bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is an interesting one to establish an Institute of Fisheries Research in Ogidime in Warri South West local government area. I think the content is clear as contained in the papers. I urge my colleagues to approve. Thank you.
Thank you. Maki. No, it's not seconding. We don't need seconding. Just get me the names of the people who are here. Yes. Honorable colleagues, it's 1 to 23 in terms of clauses, schedules, explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill.
Mr. Chairman, just to be guided, Mr. Chairman, before you, this is clause number 9, Mr. Chairman.
Clause number 9?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
9A. Penalties for unprofessional conduct.
9A?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
What is known in our law books is misconduct, not infamous conduct. I think is judged to be guilty of misconduct is the most appropriate draft.
Okay, we should amend it to misconduct.
Misconduct, yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Amendment seconded? If you are seconding it. You are seconding it. Yeah, good. So, clause 9 as amended?
Yeah.
Clause 10? Clause 11 to 20, 21, 22, 23, shadows, explanatory memorandum, the long title of the bill. Distinguished colleagues, the last report to be considered is that of the Committee of Specialty Healthcare on a bill for an act to amend the Orthopedic Hospital Management Board, Act Cap 010, Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004, to provide for the establishment of Orthopedic Hospital Gombe. I invite Dr. Alex Egbona to give the synopsis of the bill. You can move according to the paper.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's a straightforward report. Board on Specialty Healthcare on a bill for an act to amend the Orthopedic Hospital Management Board Cap 010, Law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to provide for establishment of the Orthopedic Hospital building Gombe State.
Thank you very much. Honorable colleagues, it's just 4 clauses, clauses 1 to 4, schedules, explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill. Clause 1 to 4, schedules, explanatory memorandum, the long title of the bill. You love Gombe State. Leader, please move that the House reverse to plenary to report progress.
Mr. Chairman, I rise to move that the House to revert to plenary and to receive reports from the Committee of the Whole from the Speaker. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Mr. Chairman, my dear colleagues, I rise to second the motion moved by the House Leader. I so second.
Those in support of the motion that we revert to plenary to consider this report, to report progress, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. The House hereby reverts to plenary to report progress. Most distinguished colleagues, this is the chairman's report. The House in Committee of the Whole considered the report on the bill for an act to establish Federal University of Agriculture, Nkanu, and to make comprehensive provisions for its due management and administration and for related matters, and approve clauses 1 to 32, the schedules, explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill. It is the chairman's report also that the House and the Committee of the Whole considered the report on the bill for an act to establish Federal College of Medical Laboratory Science and Technology, Akwa Ibom, and related matters, and considered and approved clauses 1 to 36, the schedule, and the long title of the bill. It is the chairman's report that the House and Committee of the Whole considered the report on the bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act to establish Federal Medical Center, Oyo State, and for related matters, and approved clauses 1 to 3, the schedules, explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill. It is the chairman's report that the House and the Committee of the Whole considered the report on the bill for an act to provide establishment of Federal Institute of Fisheries Research, Delta State, and for related matters. Approved clauses 1 to 8, clause 9 as amended. Approved clauses 10 to 23, the schedules, explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill. The House and the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Specialty Healthcare on a bill for an act to amend the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act, Cap 010 Law of Federation of Nigeria 2004 to provide for establishment of Orthopedic Hospital Biliri, Gombe State, and to be affiliated to the Federal Teaching Hospital Gombe, and for related matters. And approved clauses 1 to 4, the schedules, explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill. Leader, please move that the House do adopt the report of the Committee of the Whole as a working instrument of the Parliament.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that the House do adopt the reports from the Committee of the Whole as ably and effectively presented by the Speaker as working instruments of Parliament.
Thank you very much. Minority Leader, please.
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I rise to second the motion as very well moved by the House Leader. I so second.
Those in support of the motion that the House do adopt this report as working instrument of the Parliament, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. The report of the Committee of the Whole is hereby adopted as the working instrument of the Parliament. Leader, please move that the House do adjourn to tomorrow, 11 o'clock, same venue.
Thank you very much, our Honorable Speaker. Julius Ihanvere, Owan Federal Constituency, Mr.
No,
Speaker.
please wait. Wait, please. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, I'm happily from the new Edo State with a new governor. I rise to move that the House do adjourn plenary to tomorrow, Thursday, 11 a.m. at this very same venue. I so move.
Minority Leader, please.
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I will pray that the House Leader should not be in a hurry.
Please, Honorable Faleke.
It's not over until it is over. I rise to second the motion that the House do stand adjourned. I so second.
Let me thank you again for staying up to this time and actually dissecting the MTEF. That is the true test of a legislator. Really, I appreciate the work we have done today, and you have differentiated yourself, like I said before. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Those in support of the motion that have been moved that the House do adjourn to tomorrow, same time, same place, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. The House is hereby adjourned to tomorrow, same time, same place.
Hey, members on this row, please, should kindly wait for me to write their names. Members on this row, they are the only people that have not been captured. So, okay, sorry, sir. No, sir. There is no time.
Okay.
Alex.